Hi, today is Monday, August 25th, 2025. I'm sitting on a chair in my labor union's office at the moment. I'm going to read this article to practice English. I am not a native English speaker. I am Korean, and that's why I have to practice English by reading and listening every day. This article is from Reuters.com, and the title is Vietnam Island Building in Spratley May Soon Surpass China's, report says, by Reuters, August 23, 2025. An aerial view of Southwest Cay, also known as Phugat Island, controlled by Vietnam and part of the Spratley Islands in the disputed South China Sea, April 21, 2017. Washington, August 22nd, Reuters. Vietnam has significantly expanded island building work in areas it claims in the Spratley Islands chain of the disputed South China Sea and will match and likely surpass the scale of such activity there by China, a U.S. think tank reported on Friday. Recent satellite imagery showed that since the start of this year, Vietnam has expanded island building to 8 features previously untouched by a round of reclamation that began in 2021. The report from Washington's Center for Strategic and International Studies said the Reuters daily briefing newsletter provides all the news you need to start your day. Sign up here. The report from CSIS's Asia Maritime Transparency Initiative said the imagery showed Vietnam has undertaken dredging and landfill work at Ellison Reef, Collins Reef, East Reef, Lansdowne Reef, and Petley Reefs. The work meant that all 21 Vietnamese occupied rocks and low tide elevations in the Spratley Islands chain have now been expanded to include artificial land when 4 years ago a majority hosted only isolated pillbox structures. Pillbox structures, right? I wonder what the pillbox structure is. Let's just check it out. Pillbox structure. Take your pills. Pillbox is a small fortified structure or blockhouse, usually made of concrete. They are generally camouflaged against the landscape to hide occupants from enemy view. Okay. 참호, right? Pillbox. That's pillbox. Yeah, we have many in Korea too. Everywhere, right? You need to protect yourself from enemy fires, especially rifles and mortars. So that's the definition of a pillbox. The report said new expansion had also begun at 3 features that already hosted medium-sized artificial islands created in earlier rounds of dredging: Ambonia Cay, Gerson Reef, and West Reef. As of March 2025, Vietnam had created about 70% as much artificial land in the Spratlys as China had, it said. Reclamation at these 8 new features all but ensures that Vietnam will match and likely surpass the scale of Beijing's island building. China claims almost the entire South China Sea, despite overlapping claims by Brunei, Malaysia, the Philippines, and Vietnam. Beijing has conducted extensive island building work there, opposed by the United States and its allies and partners. The CSIS report said the images showed infrastructure, including munitions storage containers, was beginning to appear on Vietnamese claimed reefs where dredging work was approaching completion, such as Bark Canada Reef, Discovery Great Reef, Lead Reef, Namit Island, Pearson Reef, Sand Cay, and Tennant Reef. It said the location of new structures and munitions depots seemed to preclude the possibility of full-length runways on some of the longer features, and said a runway at Bark Canada was likely the only one being constructed to join Vietnamese sole existing airstrip at Spratley Island. China and Vietnam's Washington embassies did not immediately respond to requests for comment on the CSIS report. In February, China said it opposes Vietnam's construction activities on Bark Canada Reef, saying it was Chinese territory. Yeah, China has too many territories, right? In 2016, the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague ruled that China's South China Sea claims were not supported by international law, a decision Beijing rejects. Personally, I feel it's sad that there is a huge dispute about the Spratley Islands, but officially both sides should sit down at a table and work out a resolution. But personally, I think China did not expand that much into that southern islands. They were busy with themselves, right? And also Korea and Japan were independent countries. And China didn't and doesn't claim south of Jeju Island as theirs, or east of Korea or west of Korea. Western Sea or Eastern Sea belong to Korea, right? So it should goes the same way with the Spratley Islands. I didn't read the history, but geographically, it's absurd that Spratley Islands belong to China only, right? It's just everybody's, including Korea. We should claim the Spratley Islands as ours too, right? So that I could be rich. I'm just personally hallucinating here. Well, that's it. Vietnam is building a pillbox, right? Pillboxes, but I hope every peaceful ending to their disputes. And a happy Monday. Bye-bye.